Good morning, everybody. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. First thing is just that constant reminder every other week I give you a 5Q tape breakdown and why it's so important. Last week's was an example where they make the point to us and how you can empower them. And this is very timely because that's what today's call is about, is empowering, etc. So just a little thing here, how to use battle cards in your sales process. So what are battle cards? Anybody know what a battle card is? Okay, well, let's take a look at what a battle card is in. Sometimes you're miles ahead of your competitor on pricing, features, and customer service. So if you're following the 5Q system with a 21-point checklist, how far ahead of you are you than your competitors? I want everybody to answer this. Because the only other software that's out there is financial planning software. And financial planning software or income planning software, what's that worth? Guys, I was the number one salesperson for IDS, which is now Ameriprise, in the state of Minnesota when I first started in this business for selling financial plans. Couldn't sell a product, but so don't, you know, I am the pot calling the kettle black here. I was fantastic at selling financial plans, but that's where I learned they were worthless. Why are they worthless? Because they make assumptions. They make assumptions about inflation. What happened to anybody's assumptions about inflation over the last 2 years? It makes assumption about rate of return. And even if you get that right, let's say that over 10 years, next 10 years, I predict there's going to be a 7.2% rate of return, and I'm right. It's still worthless. Why? Even if I predicted a 7.2% rate of return and it was 7.2 over the next 10 years and I was right, why is that not, or why is that worthless? Because are they going to get a 7.2, 7.2, 7.2, 7.2, 7.2, 7.2, or are they going to get a 14 and a 0 and a 10 and a -5 and so it's worthless. So you guys are so far ahead of everybody else out there. So what's the solution? What's the solution when you are so far ahead of everybody else? Battle cards, sales battle cards. According to Crayon, which is not the coloring wax pencil crayon company, it's actually a research company. Crayon, 71% of businesses that use them say they've increased their win rates as a result. 71% have increased their win rates as a result. Is that a small or a big percentage? So what are these battle cards? Battle cards are visual aids comparing your company's product, service, features, and or pricing to one of the many competitors. Typically a one-pager. A battle card is a quick way to provide an overview of your competitors and see how you stack up against them in crucial areas of performance and value. So here's a question. Does 5Q provide you with a battle card? Now, those of you that have perused our website, how much information is on our website? I mean, compared to any other FMO out there, compared to any other broker-dealer out there, I don't care if it's Merrill Lynch or JP Morgan, how much information and tools do we give you compared to everybody else out there? And the reason I bring that up is because many of you probably don't even know we have a battle card. So we do. See, I'm going to show you here in a second where they're going to tell you if you want to build your own battle card, they have templates. And you can go here and we'll attach this link to this coaching call, but you can download your own template. And you've probably seen these. Competitor, or here's what we give you. Competitor. So it shows you apples to apples, side by side, how we compare to others. So how many of you want to design your own card? Oh, Artie, you got it. Good job, Artie. Yeah. How many of you want to design your own card? Or would you rather have one done for you? Yes. So on our low-cost marketing right here, so you go to marketing, Click low cost. Here's other systems that you can actually use with USP. We have financial consumer scorecard is one thing we have, okay? So when we go to a financial consumer scorecard, here's what it looks like. What's truly possible, increase your income from your retirement accounts by 25% or more and lower the chance of running out of money. But look at, here's the scorecard right here. What's truly possible, income plan, the unfortunate reality. So here, if we can read here, what's truly possible, a well-designed withdrawal plan offering considering 12 different strategies. So we look at 12 different strategies. We can increase your income from your retirement accounts by 25% more and lower the chance of running out of money. And guys, again, 16 different broker-dealers have okayed said this USP is fine. Why? Because we can prove it using the Society of Actuaries proof. The unfortunate reality is what everybody else has is most advisors utilize the 4% withdrawal strategy and hope it all works out. Blah 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 blah. Your empowerment and education, diligent discovery, rigorous analysis, simple and easy to follow plan, guaranteed portfolio. So this is a battle card that we actually give you. So were you all, anybody here not aware that we had this card available for you? And this is a Word document, so you can modify some of this stuff, wording-wise. So how many of you did not know that this is available? How many of you think that this is a good thing to be using with clients? So please, please, please make sure you go take a look at it, okay? Because again, let's quiz you. Your chance of success goes up by how much when you use a battle card? Very good, Dale. 71%. Do this and you close 100% of your prospects. Really. Do this, what I'm about to show you, and you'll close 100% of your prospects. And yes, absolutely you will. Is that really true? Yep, really. The psychological discipline of motivation interviewing calls it accurate empathy, skillful reflecting listening that clarifies and amplifies a person's own experience and meaning. And actually, the FBI uses this, the military intelligence uses this, and psychologists use this to get people who are severely addicted to convince themselves that they should break that addiction. So yes, it is really true. How hard do you think it is to get an FBI agent to break somebody that doesn't want them does not want to talk to them? How hard do you think it is for military intelligence to get somebody to tell them something they don't want to tell them? How hard do you think it is for an addicted gambler, drug addict, alcoholic, or whatever it may be to break their addiction? Guys, the only thing, when we compare what we do, getting a client to leave their current advisor, how hard do you think it is to get a client to leave their current advisor as compared to getting an FBI agent to break a suspect, or the U.S. military to break an intelligence source, or for the psychologist to break the addiction of somebody? I mean, we have something that's, what we're trying to do is way easier than what they're trying to do. So if it works for them, what do we know for us? It works for us, and it has. For 25 years, it has worked for us. Now, to make that work, in order to make motivational interviewing work, which is asking open-ended questions, though, you have to have GOTS. You have to get on their side. Why? Because, Missy, can you get on the call here a second?
I sure can. Yep.
Okay. So what if I said, hey, Missy, where'd you go on vacation this year?
I went to Jamaica.
I'm going to ask Missy a series of open-ended questions, and you tell me what do you think. At the end of the conversation, I'm going to ask you, what do you think is going through Missy's mind? So where'd you go on vacation this year?
I went to Jamaica.
Why?
I like it there.
What's so good about that?
Well, it's got some sunshine. Beach.
Why do you like sunshine?
Because it makes me feel happy.
Why does that make you feel happy? How long before Missy starts getting angry at me when I do that? See, it's all open-ended questions. All open-ended questions, but how long? What are you starting to feel, Missy?
You're just drilling me constantly.
Yeah, I'm interrogating you, right? And then how
Yep.
long before you start saying, what's your problem? What are you driving at? Why are you asking me? How long before you would do that? A long time or not very long time?
You were already there, so not very long.
Yeah. Now, when we do GOTS, though, listen, I'm going to ask the same questions. So, Missy, where'd you go on vacation?
I went to Jamaica.
Jamaica. That's awesome. Why'd you go there?
We've been there before. I like it.
Yeah, and when you like someplace, what do you want to do?
Oh, I love just go back again.
Yeah, you go back again. And then you do what? The next year. Go back again. You go back. And
back
why is
again.
it so important that we do that kind of stuff?
Well, makes me feel good, makes me feel happy, and help them out.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes you feel good, makes you feel happy. And, what kind of things in Jamaica make you feel good and make you feel happy? I bet you as soon as you get off the plane and you step off the plane into the what, and you're almost immediately happy.
Oh, I just love the sunshine, the warmth.
The sunshine and the warmth. And more people need to be like you that invest in themselves and invest in that time off and invest in that recharging batteries. Because I know how important your job is to you, but too many people that do as good a job as you do will quit recharging their batteries, and they work until. And guess what happens when somebody's really good at their job but never takes time off to us? What's eventually going to happen to the job? Even though they're super good at their job, what's eventually going to happen?
Oh, I just get kind of burnt out.
They're burnt out, and then they don't. So good for. So guys, same questions, but how do you feel about that, Missy?
Much, much better. Yeah, it's conversational.
So how much longer do you think Missy's going to talk to me? Well, as I've said, I've listened to advisors who are awesome at GOTS do the 21-point checklist in a 3-hour meeting with a 75-year-old lady. And that 75-year-old lady did that at 3 hours. What do you think she's like at the end of that 3 hours of a 21-point checklist? What is she thinking?
Happy.
Yeah, you guys got it. Yep. So she's energized. She's charged. She wants to because for the first time in her 75 years, somebody's been interested in what she has to say. Somebody has complimented her on what she has to say. Somebody has told her that she's above average. How long does she want to talk to that advisor? Forever. and now, what do you think would happen to a typical advisor if they were doing, if anybody else that was not trained at GOTS, what would happen? How would that 75-year-old lady be at the end of a 3-hour meeting with a typical advisor? Yeah, she'd be dead. She'd be drained. And so what gets us there is getting on their side. So what it's not is feel, felt, found. Oh, I understand how you feel. I used to feel, I felt that way myself. What I found is blah, blah. No. I have many clients that would feel that way. I understand how you feel. I had many clients that felt that way. What they found, guys, as soon as you feel, felt, found, what is every client realize you're going to do? Sell, exactly. Yes, but no, that's not that. Probably, maybe, sometimes. Any qualifying language? Did you hear any qualifying language in there with Missy? No, it's absolute black and white language. You're either on their side or you aren't. Now, this is especially when they give us an objection. Because when they give us an objection, they're going to have a fight-flight response. But if we constantly get on their side, guess what happens? They never have a reason. Here's why if you're awesome at GOTS, you close 100% of people. Now, let's say that 75-year-old lady did not move her assets. Okay? After 3 hours, she loved the guy. For the first time, somebody listened to her. For the first time, somebody told her she's above average, but maybe didn't do a very good job at the 21-point checklist script of having her discover that guy was taking advantage of her. So maybe he screwed up on the 21-point checklist scripts, but he was awesome at GOTS. Will he have a chance to circle back? Yes. Why? How did he make her feel? Fantastic. So if he wants to meet her again, guess what she's going to say? Sure. Sure. How many times do we want to talk to people who make us feel fantastic? How many times did you talk to somebody that makes you feel fantastic? Forever and ever and ever. See, if you're awesome at GOTS, they never have a reason to say, no, I don't want to talk to you again. They never can say no. They never can say no. Now, he didn't close the deal there, but if he keeps meeting with her and keeps meeting with her and keeps meeting with her and she loves him and loves him and loves him, eventually she'll what? Move the money. He just doesn't know when. But at least he's alive, right? Because that GOTS keeps them talking to you. So why does GOTS work? It's because when you GOTS them, it says you think just like them. When you say but, that means what? That you don't agree with them. Oh yeah, I understand what you're saying. I feel that way, but no, that word "but" tells them you don't feel. So GOTS says we think alike. Now here's the thing though. What if that guy was awesome with the 21-point checklist scripts? He was awesome with the 21-point checklist scripts, but he was not good at GOTS. What would have happened? He's awesome at the 21-point checklist scripts, asking the open-ended questions, but he is not good at GOTS. What's going to happen? How long, if you just ask open-ended question, open-ended question, open-ended question, open-ended question, open-ended question before they say, what's your point? What are you driving at? Why are you hitting me with all these questions? How long before the client starts to push back and get defensive? Quickly. But if you're only good at GOTS and you don't have the 21-point checklist, guess what happens? You don't know when they're going to move. So eventually, if I'm awesome at GOTS, they're going to keep talking to me, and they'll eventually move the money. I just don't know when. Could be now, could be 6 months from now, could be 6 years from now. I don't know when. What the 21-point checklist is, it just speeds up the process, and that when I do a 21-point checklist, if I'm awesome at the 21-point checklist, I'm awesome at GOTS, when are they going to move the money? If they spend an hour and a half or 2 hours or 2.5 hours telling me why their guy is taking advantage of them, and they love me because I'm telling them they're smart, I'm telling them everything they say I agree with, so how long before they're going to move that money? They spend an hour and a half, 2 hours, 2.5 hours telling me, and they love me because of the way I'm patting them on the back verbally over and over and over, but more importantly, they've told themselves how many times that the guy's taking advantage of them. 100 times, 150 times. If you listen to me doing we actually counted once. If you listen to me doing a 21-point checklist, guess how many times they'll answer an open-ended question in an hour, and I think it was an hour and about 40 minutes or something like that. Over 400 times. Now, here's the thing. There are guys on the system who have made more money than me when I was in private practice. They'd made more money than me in private practice, and when we went back and counted how many open-ended questions they had, they only were at over 100. But so they made more money with asking just 100 open-ended questions. They were also good at GOTS. But if a client tells themselves 100 times in their own words that their current advisor is taking advantage of them, what will they do at the end of that meeting? How many people would say, yeah, my guy's screwing me, and sometimes in little ways, sometimes in big ways, sometimes flat out, my guy is screwing me. They'll actually say that out loud. If they say that 100 times in a meeting, are they going to go back to that guy? How many people would go back to the guy if they say 100 times or more that the guy's screwing them? Zero. So you have to be great at GOTS. What speeds it up is being good at the 20-point checklist. But my point here is, yes, the 20-point checklist will get them to speed up. But if I had to, we'll get to that here in a future slide. You speed it up with the 21-point checklist, with the technique of the 21-point checklist. The 5Q system is built upon GOTS plus techniques. But which one is more important, GOTS or techniques? If I was going to be awesome at one and only fair at another, which one would I want to be awesome at? GOTS. If you're awesome at GOTS and only fair at techniques, you'll still close 100% of people. So GOTS is the scripts. GOTS is the grease that makes the scripts work. But if I have to be, and here's the great thing, how long does it take to learn the 21-point checklist scripts? Hours and hours and hours. But guess how long it takes to learn GOTS? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. How many of you believe me that I could teach you GOTS in 5 minutes? Anybody not believe me that I could teach you GOTS in 5 minutes? Come on, somebody's got to be doubting that. Because how many of you are awesome at GOTS? See, GOTS is the most important. Well, I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how in 5 minutes I could get you good at GOTS. So first, the first thing we need to know though is, where do you GOTS? You GOTS at, first of all, at the very place most advisors panic. So we're going to GOTS when they ask open-ended, when they answer an open-ended question, but we're also going to GOTS where? When they give us an objection. When they give us an objection, what are we going to do? Because most advisors panic when they give us they get an objection. Why? Because they, I'm losing the deal. I'm losing the deal. And do we ever tell somebody who has given us an objection it's wrong, or what do we do for the first 3 to 5 minutes after they give us an objection? We tell them they're what? Right, kind of right, or we understand how they feel, or do we tell them they're 1,000% right without any qualifying language? We tell them 1,000% they're right. If you don't understand that and want me to do a call on that, I'd be more than happy to do a call on that. So if you do, how many would you want me to do a call on how you tell a client they're right after they give you an objection in the future? Okay, a lot of people are saying yes. So objection, let me make a note here. Okay, so GOTS, you GOTS to be an expert. Yeah, that's a little play on words. How do you become an expert at GOTS? See, you do it with the. I could do it, like I said, in 5 minutes in a drill. But let's talk about what GOTS is. GOTS is aping. We're going, and what does APE stand for? Acknowledge or agree, parrot, not paraphrase, and empower. Tell them they're above average. So let's talk about this. So if I say which way is the market going to go, and they say up, what would I say to that? If I wanted to agree or acknowledge, what could I say to that? I say what direction the market can go, and they say up. What's a way that I could agree or acknowledge that? I could say what? Exactly. You got it. You're right. That's right. Good job. I could anything that I wanted to say there, right? I'm just saying that you're right. Now here's a one that people get wrong. Parrot, not paraphrase, and I'll explain why that's important here in a second. If I say, tell me if I'm parroting or paraphrasing it if I do it this way. Say, what direction is the market going to go? And they say, up. I say, exactly up, because so many indicators right now are out there saying the market is leaning towards up. And of course, I mean, the fact that you got that, that's terrific, because we've got economists saying that. We've got some of the best stock pickers saying that. So when you say up, you're exactly right. Is that a parrot or is that a paraphrase? Steve got it right. Steve said paraphrase, and he is right. Because if I parrot them, what do I say? Which way is the market going to go up? And they say up. I say, that's right, up. That's parroting. If I add to that, I'm paraphrasing. So here's, I can give you many experiments that have been done that prove this, but I'll give you the easiest one to understand. That proves the point very quickly. They've done studies, and this study has been duplicated many times, that when a waiter or a waitress parrots back an order exactly as it is said versus paraphrasing the order, their tips go up by 71%. Their tips go up by 71%. If they parrot back exactly the order versus paraphrasing back the order, the tips go up by 71%. Why is that? Well, let's talk about the way I paraphrase for when I asked, is the market going to go up or down? They said up, and then I start to explain to them why their answer is right. Guess what some people start to think? Yeah, I know that. Why are you explaining it to me? I'm the one that told you that. See, could some people have that kind of reaction when they said up, and then I started to explain to them why they're right? Could they have a reaction where like, yeah, I know that. That's why I said it was up. Could they have that kind of a reaction? Have you ever had that kind of reaction when somebody tries to mansplain you or doctor-splain you or baseball or basketball-splain you, and you're like, dude, why are you I gave you the answer. I know all the things you're saying. Why are you trying to look so smart in front of me? Have you ever done that or thought that? See, that's what happens in paraphrase. So how easy is it to acknowledge or agree? How easy would it be for you to parrot? Now, empowering, telling them above average, yes, that does require more work. And I'll talk about this in more detail here. But now I'm going to go back here and say, how could I teach you in 5 minutes to GOTS people or to 8 people? Does it really take, guys, does it take any skill to acknowledge or parrot, first of all? That's right, Bert, it takes none. It takes none. What does it take, though? What does it take? Because it's not much skill. Listening, yep, I'd agree. What else? Yeah. So you guys are getting it. So here's what, if I said, I'm going to sit in the corner of your office. I'm going to sit in the corner of your office with a loaded 45. And anytime you do not acknowledge or agree with them or parrot, I'm going to shoot you in the kneecap. Guess how many of you could instantly become good at this? If you knew I would shoot you in the knee, how quickly would you be able to do parrot and acknowledge? Give me some answers. Quick or not quick? Q or NQ? Sorry, Steve. Everybody's saying quick. Exactly. So see, but it requires focus, attention. Steve said listening. Yes, it requires all those things. Now, the one that requires the most work, empowering, is the most powerful way to ape them. It's the most powerful way. Now, what am I talking with powerful? So if I say which direction, now I'm going to ask you a question, whether I'm paraphrasing or whether I'm empowering. I'm going to, by the way, answer. I want you to say, so P if I'm paraphrasing, and then see how many people can recognize it immediately. P if I'm paraphrasing, or E if I'm empowering. So I say, which direction is the market going to go up? They say, up. I say, up. You got it. I can't believe that you got that. I've asked probably 30 people that in the last 2 months, and a handful, less than I can count on my hand, got that right. I don't know if you study this. I don't know if you do a lot of reading. I don't know if you just have an instinct for this, but you nailed it. I can't believe you got that right. So few people, because many people are lemmings and are listening to everything else they're hearing, but you got it. And really, we haven't even covered why yet, so I don't understand how you did why, but yeah, that's awesome. So is that empowering or paraphrasing? Oh, you're evenly split on that. Did I just no, we're getting a lot more E there. So most people are saying empowering. How many times did I tell them why they were right versus that they were awesome? How many times did I tell them why they were right? Did I ever in that tell them why they were right? talking about indicators or any. Did I tell them why? No, 0 times. I told them 0 times why they were right. I told them many times that they were what? Smart, above average, better than the other person out there. See, that's what empowering is. Telling them they're above average, telling them they're ahead of the class, telling them that they know things other people don't know. They got things right that most people don't get right. See, that's empowering. Now let's listen to paraphrasing. So, which way is the market going to go? It's going to go up. It is going to go up. You're right. Because if you look at, and I'm not sure how you know that, but if you look at the technical indicators show that we're at a Fibonacci right now, and then we're at a point where we've got a very high likelihood, 80% chance of going up, and that's not the only indicator. So when you said it's going to go up, you're right, because there are many things on the dashboard right now of market indicators that would indicate they're right, and you are among a lot of smart people who believe that. I mean, when you look at the economists now, if you look at the best stock pickers, most of them are on your side. So you know what? So yes, I am saying they're smart, but more importantly, I'm saying what? Am I telling them they're smart, or am I telling them why they were right? With that one. I'm telling them why. That's right, Ben. Why? See, if I tell them why they're right, that's what? Empowering and paraphrasing. If I tell them why they are right, is that empowering or paraphrasing? That's paraphrasing. And when I paraphrase, I'm trying to make myself look what? When I tell them why they're right, I'm spending less time telling them they're smart and trying to instead prove what? I'm smart. See, empowering is telling them. Should my knowledge be anywhere in the empowering? Should my expertise, my knowledge, my resources, my footnotes, should any of my showiness on how smart I am be in that empowering? No, it should all be about what? Now here's a funny thing. I'm gonna empower again, and I want you to listen to see if I could say the exact same thing. If I ask them, hey, is the market go up or down? And they say up. If I said, is the market going to go up or down? And they say down. If I say, is diversification good or bad? And they say good. Now listen to how I empower, and tell me if I could use that empowering no matter what they answer. Okay. So when they give me the answer, I don't care if it's up, I don't care if it's down, I don't care if it's diversification is good. Here's what I would say. I'd say, I can't believe you got that right. I mean, I probably asked 30 people in the last 2 months of that question, and I could count on one hand, probably less, not including my thumb, how many people got that right. So wow, I mean, that's impressive. Move to the front of the class because so few people get that right. And you know, they're kind of lemmings. They listen to what's being told to them over and over without any analysis. So I don't know if you are educated in this. I don't know if you do a lot of study with this, or you just have plain insight. But I wish you would talk to all my other clients because you got it. You nailed it. That's amazing. That allows me, because of your answer there, that tells me you get this. I can actually go into a little bit more depth on these things that I can't with other people because you understand at a higher degree than most people understand. So guys, could I have used all of that, no matter whether we're talking about the market going up or down, diversification, whether the Knicks are going to win the championship? Could I use that empowering no matter what they said? Was there anything in there about their answer? Was there any me proving that they were right, giving them resources and why they were right, giving them sources and why they were right? No. So do you get that? So when do you want to empower them? And I'll tell you where you can get some of that more information on how to empower you, but in a second. But where do we want to use empowering? There's 3 times we should always empower. First, as early in the meeting as possible. Why do we want to empower them and tell them they're above average? Tell them they're smart at the beginning of a meeting. Why? They like it. Yeah, so they like me. If they like it, they like me. That's right. Now, the second time we're going to empower them is anytime they make a point for me. So as I'm going through the 21-point checklist, if they beat me to a point, I'm going to what? Tell them they're a genius, because they are. They beat me to where I was going. So anytime they make a point for you, you empower them. The third place is when the meeting gets rough. Let's say, do we all make mistakes in meetings? Do we maybe argue with people, correct people, rub people the wrong way? That happens. But the way you get them back immediately is find the nearest next place to empower them, to tell them they're above average. Now, I have guys who get they don't like this. They don't like this because they say it's flattering people. Is empowering flattering people? So Artie, you got it. So some people are saying no, and some people are saying yes. It is not flattering people. Can I give you a difference between, give you an example of empowering versus flattering? Let's talk about, I'm at a girl, I'm 19 years old or 20 years old. I'm trying to pick up a girl at the bar, and I go over to say, oh, did the heavens drop you? You just must have dropped from the heavens. You're an angel. You are so beautiful. You're the most beautiful girl in this room. I can't believe it. Your eyes are so wonderful. Boy, is that flattering or empowering? Yeah, flattery. Now, what if I instead said, excuse me, I don't mean to bother you. I see you with your friends, but my sister's birthday's coming up, and she loves shoes, and I've been beating my head against the door trying to find those shoes you have are awesome. Do you mind if I tell you where I've been looking for months and over a month and probably invested 15 hours trying to find, and I can't. Anything that would impress her. Those shoes would impress the heck out of her, and she's got a shoe closet you wouldn't believe. Would you mind telling me where you got those shoes? Because obviously you have a lot better eye than I did, because I've struck out. Did you get them here in town? Did you order them online? Where did you get them? Because those are fabulous shoes. Now, is that flattering or empowering? It's empowering. Why? What's the difference between me telling her she's beautiful and telling her that she has exquisite taste in shoes? What's the difference? Which one is more specific? You're beautiful. The heavens must have dropped you. Your eyes are gorgeous. Those shoes are awesome. My sister's been looking for. I've been looking for her the last. Look, she's an aficionado. She's got a shoe closet you wouldn't believe. Did you get them online? Which one is more specific? The shoes is more specific, right? So what's the difference between flattery and empowering? If you want to flatter me and say, Mike, you're so smart. I can't believe how smart you are. Man, you know, the things you come up with, they're genius. Wow, you're just so great. What am I thinking? Wow, that feels nicer. Shut up. What am I thinking? If that's what you say to me. I'm thinking, shut up. I don't need to hear that. What if instead you say, Mike, you know that battle card you just came up with? I mean, I've seen some of the stuff that Merrill Lynch puts out there. I've seen the stuff that J.P. Morgan. I've seen the dealer, the broker dealer I worked with before, which is huge. I know personally the guys that run the training department. They've spent hundreds of thousands of dollars and have not come up with something like that with that much power. I don't know how you do that, Mike, but to be able to did you write that? Well, yeah, I did write that. You wrote that? You wrote, and then you're giving it to us for free. This is, man, Mike, that's, so which one now, how would I think about that? Which one is more, well, how would I feel about that if somebody went to me with that? That's empowering. You came up with a specific reason. You just didn't say, Mike, you're so smart. You're a genius. You're what? No, you're not doing it. I was like, shut up. But you came up with just one thing One thing that I did that was better than other people. That makes me feel, that's believable or not believable? That's believable. That's believable. And see, it comes right out of how to win friends and influence people. The second principle, the second main principle of how to win friends and influence people is give honest and sincere appreciation. That girl, if I say you're beautiful, does she think it's honest and sincere? No. If I go on and on about her shoes in specificity, does that sound more honest and sincere? If I'm giving her reasons why her shoes are awesome. Yes, honestly, you got to find that one thing that you can tell them they're above average on. I didn't tell her she's beautiful. I told her she's above average on not of everybody in the bar, on everybody, myself, of my sister. She's above average on shoes, not about anything else, about shoes. And it's the same thing with people. When you want to empower them, you don't say you're genius, you're genius, you're genius. I find that one question to answer. So when they told me the market was going to go up, did I tell them they were a genius, or did I tell them that one answer put them above average? Did I say they're a financial genius, or did I say, you know, that answer you gave me there, nobody gets that right. That's unbelievable. You got that. So that's the difference between empowering and flattering. Guess how many times people push back when you empower them? When you flatter them, people will push back. When you empower them, how many times are people going to push back? That girl, how long will she think about that? If you tell her she's beautiful, how quickly before she forgets you? Her and her friends will have a laugh after they throw a drink in your face, and then they forget you. But how long will she remember? Every time she puts on those shoes for the next 2 months, what is she going to think about? Yes, me. Because it's very specific. Does that make sense? So you got to be specific. If you want some good examples of how to that speech about above average and ahead of the class and all over, if you go to the library audio video school under the disclosure meeting, you're going to see an example of me just empowering. And this script that you do here, you could use for no matter whether they said the markets are going to go up, it's going to go down, diversification is good, or the Knicks are going to take the are going to take the championship. It doesn't matter. This example of telling them that on that one specific answer they gave you, they are a genius. They are ahead of the class. They are above average. Does that make sense? We also, if you go to the getting started toolbox and go under 15-minute drill, I give you a 8-minute of examples and why we do it and how we do it, etc. So we do have tools for you to become very, very good at that empowering. Now, how do you become an expert in empowering? Here's how you do it. If you're a conservative, listen to talk radio when you're driving, or instead of listening to music or listen to whatever, or if you're listening to talk radio, somebody makes a point, agree with them. Now, here's how you become an expert, however. If you are a liberal, you should listen to talk radio. Why? Because if you want to become an expert in empowering people, you need to learn how to empower people who agree with you or people that don't agree with you. So if you're a liberal, listen to conservative talk radio. If you're conservative, listen to a liberal radio. And anytime they say something, then turn it off, and tell them why they're right. Empower them. Tell them they're above the class. Anytime you hear something that you don't agree with, again, turn it off. Tell them they're right. If you don't want to do either of this, then listen to sports radio. And anytime somebody says something, turn it off and then tell them they're above average. You can be practicing this every single day. Should you need to think about empowering people? I wonder what I should say. I wonder how I can do it. Or should this be almost like, I'm not proud of this fact, but when I was in the Navy, I'm very ashamed of this fact. In fact, I wouldn't want any of my kids to know that. But I was in the Navy. We would get drunk as heck and practice saying our ABCs backward. We would get drunk as heck and then walk the line. Why? I mean, it's stupid. If I ever caught somebody else do it, I'd slap them upside the head. But obviously, when we're young, we don't have our frontal lobes fully developed. But guess what? I could say the alphabet backwards 3 sheets to the wind. I could walk on a line 3 sheets to the wind. And that's how good you should be at what? Empowering. You shouldn't even have to think about it. It should just flow out of your mouth. So practice every single day. Then, once you get really awesome at GOTS, then learn the 21-point checklist. Now, how long will that take? It'll take hours. But if you are awesome at GOTS and the 21-point checklist, the world is your oyster. How many people are going to not move their money to you when they tell you 100 times in an hour and a half, 150 times in an hour and a half that their guy's taking advantage of them, and we love you because you think just like us? How many people are going to move their money? What percentage? So Ben asks, so after you empower them, do you then convert a liberal to a conservative or vice versa? Can we convert? That's a great question because it helps me make a point. Can we convert a liberal to a conservative or a conservative to a liberal? There's only one person that can convert a liberal to a conservative or a conservative to a liberal. Who is that? Themselves. Very good. You guys are awesome. So there's only one person that's going to be able to tell them that their guy is screwing them and they need to leave their guy. Who is that? Themselves. So I can get anybody to do anything by using motivational interviewing. Why? How can I get anybody to do anything using motivational interviewing? By having that client explain to themselves why the point I'm making is right. I can't explain to them why the point I'm making is right. I ask questions to get them to explain to me why the point is right. But I can't do that without GOTS. So what thing do I ask you to do? There's 2 things I would ask you to do every single day to get good at GOTS. And here's one of them that you can do right when you're driving your car. But what's the other thing that if you did every single day, you'd be awesome with GOTS? What's the other thing you could do every single day and you'd be awesome with GOTS? Very good, Artie. Who else gets it? Come on. Dale's got it. Kevin's got it. Yes, the 15-minute drill. Are we working on scripts with a 15-minute drill? No, that takes hours. The 15-minute drill is designed to get you awesome at getting on their side. Make sense? Coolio. So for today, it's 10:02. We're going to start at the top of the hour for the script workshop. On the script workshop, we're going to work on GOTS. We're going to work on aping. We're going to get better at those skills. So that's what we're going to work on today at the top of the hour. So guys, please, 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 the 15-minute drill is what will allow you to sell 100% of people. You just don't know when they're going to move their money, whether it's going to be now, next week, or next year. But they will stick with you. They will take your calls. They will meet with you if you're awesome at GOTS. Then teaming a 21-point checklist, it goes from next week or next year to at that 21-point checklist meeting, they're going to move their money to you. But you got to be good at both. But if I had to choose to be awesome at one, I'm going to be awesome at GOTS and good at the scripts. And can you all get awesome at GOTS? Yes, in 5 minutes, simply by what? So the 15-minute drill is not necessarily designed to get you better at something. Guess what the 15-minute drill is designed to do? Sure, you'll get better at it, but that's not what it's designed to do. Why do you do the 15-minute drill every day? Why do I still do it 3-4 times a week? Why do I do that 15-minute drill? Because if I don't do it, what happens to my skills? What happens to is it on the front of my mind? Am I always thinking about it? It's a way to stay sharp, yes, but it also keeps me focused on I need to do this. Because if you're awesome at something and you don't do it, does that help you? So if I do that 15-minute drill every day, that means for the rest of that day, I'm still thinking about that 15-minute drill. I'm still thinking about, oh, I got to get on people's side. I got to tell them. So that's why you got to do it regularly. If you want it to become a habit, what's the best way to create a habit? So if I want GOTS to be a habit, then the 15-minute drill needs to be a habit. Make sense? If I want to being fit is a habit, that means doing the workout. I have to work out to make working out a habit. If I want to lose weight to have a good healthy weight size, I want to make that a habit. Then paying attention to what I eat has to become a habit. So the way you create the end result habit is by doing something. And for the GOTS, it's the 15-minute drill. Okay? So you guys, thanks for being on the call. Talk to you all next Monday. Those of you going to be on the call for the workshop will be starting in about 5 minutes at the top of the hour. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.